Guys, I got suspended on Twitch in the middle of my Crimson Desert playthrough.
You can tell he's playing video games again because he looks like he hasn't showered.
What I'm gonna be able to do, it's gonna be an entire week. I mean, geez, guys. I'm gonna have so much free time. Well, I guess I could start by making this video, right? So, I got suspended.
Wait a minute. Whose computer is behind him? That wasn't a second computer setup. Whose computer setup is that? His wife. Shut up. He doesn't have a wife. Now see, that's a vacation mode, Asmon. Sus timing, you say.
I did last night on Twitch. I end my stream, and I come back from the gas station, and I get a message, and somebody says, why can't I chat in your stream? And I'm like, well, I don't know what happened. And I look, and I get a message, and it says that my account has been suspended for 7 days because of hateful conduct. So this is what I did. This is what I said. I said that I didn't give a fuck about the opinions of third worlders, and then particularly in the thing that they referenced, I was referring to illiterate goat herders from Afghanistan.
Again, the way this looks out in the public is not a United States.
The opinions of third worlders don't matter. Like, I don't care what some illiterate goat herder thinks in Afghanistan. It doesn't matter.
In the context of those people believing AI-generated videos about Iran winning the war and nuking Israel off the map. Gentlemen, I would like to confirm...
Hold up! There are AI videos purporting that Iran has completely nuked Israel off the face of the planet? And people are believing that?
Yes.
Can we just... If Iran sent nukes to Israel, all of us would be nuked. Because then the US would nuke Iran, and then Russia would retaliate for us nuking Iran, and then everyone else would be like, oh, me too! And then everyone would just fire nukes indiscriminately. Desperate to save there is that. I fucking guess. I don't know, man. You haven't seen the videos of flying carpets shooting down US jets? Oh, well, if it's the flying carpets shooting down the jets, I believe it. That makes sense. There's a certain subset of the population that believes anything that comes out of a Muslim news network. That's kind of strange. No, Kirsche, if Israel gets nuked, everyone gets nuked because that's literally their policy. Google the Samson option. I've heard of the Samson option. I just do not remember what it is. 300,000 American soldiers have been killed in combat. Trust me, I've seen the AI recreations.
That I am 100% right, and you don't either. And neither do they. Because if Twitch cares about their opinions, why don't they apply Afghanistan's opinions to women on Twitch?
Since regaining power in August 2021, the Taliban has implemented a system of systemic oppression against women in Afghanistan. Widely described as gender apartheid, over 70 decrees have effectively erased women from public life. Banning education above 6th grade, barring most employment, restricting movement without a male guardian, and imposing strict dress codes. Yeah, but why are we talking about Germany?
That would be interesting, wouldn't it? But everybody knows nobody gives a fuck about them. Nobody cares. I'm not sorry. I'm right. I said nothing wrong, and nothing I said was against the terms of service. Beyond
That's
that,
true, it's not.
Do you even imagine a world where somebody that says that they don't care about what a fat American thinks about the Middle East, can you imagine that this person ever gets suspended? Of course not.
He has some woke qualities, but he's nowhere near as woke as Francis. Francis was a socialist. This motherfucker is an American. And I think Americans are gross. Americans do not have a understanding of the world. Americifying anything is going to be bad. Americans have a very limited understanding of the universe.
And so why am I getting suspended? It's more third worldist morality logic inversion that basically is being used to silence me for an entire week. That's the important part that I want to talk about here. It's because basically Twitch has a system where they say that your infractions or your bad actions expire within 1 year. Well, the last time I was suspended, well, we all remember the last time I was suspended.
Asmon banned for hateful conduct. But Hassan gives a detailed breakdown for his audience to make sewer slide drones to go after people they disagree with. That's why, in response to, like, his tweet saying that he got banned for a week, I was like, yeah, you should have just said you wanted them dead instead. Then you would have gotten a 24-hour ban. Because, like, Hassan says shit like that all the time, and he only gets, like, 24 hours, man. So the non-West and boomers have been one-shot by AI videos. It's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy. I was talking to my uncle recently, the one that called me a communist for supporting Donald Trump. And he was talking about like massive layoffs happening in the tech sector and how like the layoffs are terrible and also Trump's fault. And I was like, yeah, we need more deportations. You know, once we have more deportations, less H-1B visas and less offshoring other tech jobs to like India, and things will get a lot better for Americans who are still in the tech industry and for Americans who went to college for tech industry jobs and who aren't able to get them. And he was like, well, that's just not true. Immigrants are very important to the fabric of this country. They pay taxes. And I was like, what? Weren't you just complaining about jobs in the tech sector? What the fuck? I was like, okay, all right. They don't, but okay. And he's like, yeah, they buy groceries. They go out to eat at restaurants. They're paying taxes. And I was like, that's sales taxes. They're not paying income taxes. He's like, yeah, they do. And I'm like, the ones that do are doing so because they have stolen social security numbers. What are you talking about? And he was like, you're just so brainwashed by communism. I'm just trying to figure out what the fuck is going on. And we argue back and forth a little bit longer. And I'm just like, oh, somehow we got to like World War II, because of course, you know, that the game of like how long it takes to get to Hitler is always true. And I was like, you know that there are World War II veterans who have come out on like broadcast TV news shows saying that they regret fighting in the war. And so he goes, what, so you're saying it's all right to kill the Jews? And I hear my aunt in the background go, okay, all right. I was like, what the fuck even is this conversation? Did he eat a lot of lead paint as a child? I have no idea. It was very confounding. You'd think he's trolling you, but lots of people are really stupid. Yeah. I told him I would never vote for a Democrat at this point. And he was like, oh, so you just hate our country? And I was like, what is happening? They would want you dead. What are we talking about? Bro is zogged out of his mind. Oh my god, he just truly believes in magic words. Master Prick, thank you. You missed when Godwin's Law was more respected. Unk is the 1-inch spellcaster. And I think it just goes to show, right? Like, we talk about all those people who are all over social media and they're just like, yeah, the Republicans aren't doing what we want. Everything is terrible. Trump has made everything terrible. It's time to vote for the Democrats to teach them a lesson. And all of us make fun of those people for being absolute idiotic morons. But then you talk to boomers like my uncle and they full fucking believe that. There are people that completely believe that. And that's what you're fighting against, as well as the people who are on the left who want to actively destroy the country. God damn it, fucking boomers! Okay, time to rein it in. Grabs husband by the ear. Yeah, right?
But that was in October 2024. I have not been suspended for over an entire year. Why does that matter? Well, it matters because they say it matters. It matters because they say that's whenever the infractions expire and your account is treated as not being in bad standing. Yep. So why is it in that case that instead of getting a warning, instead of getting a suspension, instead of getting for a day, instead of getting a suspension for 3 days, I immediately went from that all the way to a 7-day suspension immediately? Why would this happen? What is the reason for it? I have no idea. Is it because they don't like what I'm saying? It has to be, because it's certainly not because what I'm saying is against the terms of service.
And if we were in a more sane era, I would be like, I think that Twitch partners should be able to contact people at Twitch to have an actual human address these kinds of issues. But now, since you can get partner pretty much without any trouble whatsoever anymore, there's like a billion partners, and you wouldn't be able to hire enough staff at Twitch to give every single one of them any kind of attention if they needed extra help. And I even realized the other day when I had to contact Twitch support about my tax forms, we used to have like a special queue for Twitch partners. So if you were a Twitch partner, you didn't have to sit in the normal like live chat queue. You had an expedited queue for being a partner. They don't even have that anymore. I had to send an email and wait for a response rather than being able to talk to a live chat Twitch person at any hour of the day. And so it's like, maybe they would need to implement, like, okay, if you have above a certain CCV or whatever, then we'll fucking have a special chat for you. But it's like, I don't know, everything on Twitch has been completely falling apart. And I really dislike Twitch as a platform. But there's no reason to stop multicasting there as it is. Just encourage people to donate to stream elements instead of through Twitch bits, you know? A Leaflet said it best on side scrollers. You can't give up territory that is Twitch. Stay on Twitch until they force you out, but definitely don't surrender. I think that's also a good point to make because a lot of people have tried, you know, doing the, okay, well, we'll just make our own platform with blackjack and hookers. And none of them have really had resounding success. And I think no matter how bad Twitch gets and no matter how bad YouTube gets, they're both going to still be the #1 giant in both of their fields. Twitch is always going to be #1 for streaming. YouTube is always going to be #1 for video content. I mean, I personally, in my little sphere of my content, I have far more viewers now on YouTube than I do Twitch. My growth on YouTube has vastly outpaced my growth on Twitch. And then I have negative growth on Twitter. They're removing bots, and I've lost like 300 followers. And I'm like, I'm never going to hit 100,000 now. Thank you for getting rid of the bots, but Numby go down, make brain sad. Until one of the competitors pulls up toward neck and neck, you can't afford to not be where the eyes are. Yeah, exactly. There's no reason to kneecap yourself just because you hate the platform. If you hate the platform, encourage people to support you in ways where the platform doesn't get money. Right? Asmongold didn't turn on advertising on his channel. He didn't monetize his channel on Twitch until they basically forced him to. I didn't play ads on my channel, and then eventually I just had enough tags that made it so Twitch didn't play ads on my channel either. I encourage people to donate through stream elements instead of Twitch bits. When I did a subathon, everyone on Twitch does subathons. Instead of a subathon where 50% of the money, or 70%, I can't remember if they had the 70% split then, but 50 to 70% would have gone to me, and then the other 50 or 30 would have gone to Twitch. So instead of doing a subathon, I did a donathon, where I got to keep more of the money, and Twitch got fucking nothing. If conservatives weren't such anti-entertainment cucks, the left wouldn't have the monopoly it does. I think a lot of people don't really realize how much that actually matters. Like, it's I guess, enjoyable to complain about how we need to fix these things and how things need to change and how unfair it is. But then, instead of actually doing something about it and taking over spaces that have been co-opted, just nothing happens. And it's kind of frustrating. YouTube and Twitch is enemy territory, true, but you do not flee from enemy grounds. You invade and conquer them to arms millennia. And I mean, that might have been part of the problem, right? I was like, not for nothing. It's great that people tried setting up alternatives and tried funding something themselves and tried doing something. But you shouldn't just cede giant corporations to one side because you don't feel like fighting it, I suppose, you know?
I looked at the terms of service. Yes, using nationality is a protected group, but I was not talking about them being disregarded because of nationality.
That's true.
I was talking about them being disregarded because of the
they're
fact that they're
illiterate goat
watching
herders.
literal AI-generated videos and then believing a false narrative. And
That's true. He wasn't talking about their nationality. We probably have illiterate goat herders somewhere in the U.S. Illiteracy isn't tied to a nationality.
And the video's context was about, would you rather be having likes on Twitter or having your entire Navy not destroyed?
Do you think that the Iranians would rather have their entire Navy back or their memes?
Oh.
Jeez, guys, I wonder. And so anyway, this is what's happened.
The memes, obviously, like, what are we even talking? Obviously, the memes are more important than a functioning Navy.
Is that I have been suspended for an entire week for that. That's it. And I'll play the clip for you guys, okay? And this is, by the way, there's not a 100% certainty with this, that this is the clip, but this is the thing that they quoted from, and it's the thing that they gave me an example of. And I will say also, by the way, my contacts and relationship with Twitch on an interpersonal level has been nothing but tremendous. I have great respect for the people that I've dealt with Twitch. I have no actual animosity towards those people, so just make sure that you guys guys understand.
I wish I could say the same.
That don't shoot the messenger or anything like that. It's the moderation team and the people that decided that I did something wrong, and maybe they made a mistake. Well, I know they made a mistake, but maybe they'll recognize that and I'll get an unban early. And if they didn't, I guess, well, I mean, and here's the annoying thing, right? Is like,
I don't understand how he can talk about the stuff that he does all day and have, like, the kinds of things happen to him that has the last couple of years, and still have that level of optimism that, well, maybe Twitch did this on accident. Maybe they'll unban me early. That is some insane optimism. I would love if they did that. I just don't see that happening.
Well, if Trump nukes Iran, which seems like that's getting more likely every day, then I'm going to have to go live on Kick and Rumble, right? Maybe on YouTube too. I prefer just to do Kick and Rumble. It's a copyright thing, right? It's a confusing, content creator reason. But like, and then we'll continue uploading videos. And if something big happens, don't worry, I'll be there and you'll have a way to watch me and, it'll be all back to usual. But I would like to take at least a little bit of time and, like maybe fix a little bit of things in my life and just relax a little bit. But if something big happens, do not worry, I will be there. And I might make a couple of other videos in the meantime, just because I'll be bored. But going back to what I was saying, is that I have been suspended for this. And really, let me talk about, like, really how I feel about this. Do I give a fuck about the opinions of a bunch of third worlders in regards to what my country should do? Absolutely fucking not.
Well, it's not even just that, right? Like, it's not even just third worlders. I don't give a fuck what, like, Europeans think of my country, right? It's like, that, why would I care? Why would I care? We're finally trying to put our interests first, and Europeans keep saying how we're terrible people for that. It's like, why would I fucking care? Your opinion means nothing. I want my country first, not putting everyone else ahead of us.
I do not. You shouldn't. They shouldn't give a fuck about what I think about their country. Because why would I take somebody's opinion that is from a shithole in these countries? And by the way,
Again, it's not even about the shitholes, right? Anyone else who has an opinion on, like, what we should be doing for our interest in the United States isn't going to be applying a what's in the best interest of a U.S. citizen. They're going to be applying the, well, America should be doing this for us kind of mindset on it, right? And it's like, no. My country is for my people, and I hate when my government puts other countries above us here who are American citizens. That's the full fucking go of it, man.
Shitholes. Many of these countries are shitholes, and don't let anybody teach you or tell you that, oh, it's America's fault. No, it's not. The ones that America has invaded are shitholes. The ones that America hasn't invaded or Britain hasn't invaded, they're shitholes too. They're shitholes because the people made them shitholes. And whenever I talk about third worlders and third worldism, I'm not even really talking about...
And also, just because your country is a shithole doesn't mean you suddenly have a human right to immigrate to the United States.
The geography, I'm talking about an ideology. And that ideology is the idea that disrespect should be met with violence, the idea that, crime, dysfunction, discord, and chaos in society should be expected. They're part and parcel of living in a modern city, and having people,
That's all just trying to brainwash you into thinking that third world activities are actually the norm, and if you don't like that, then you're somehow a bigot. They want to make you numb to third world activities, so you don't care when you walk outside and your home is just the third world now. It's indistinguishable.
Can't say certain things because they might offend people, or they'll make them mad. The idea that getting angry about something is a justification to break the law. This is what I'm really talking about with third worldism. Things that the Greek Senate, or the Greeks, the Romans, we figured this out in Western society, in Western culture. We've realized that you can't run a society whenever you have people that act this way.
Yes.
And it's actually a good thing to not have a bunch of crazy fent zombies on the
yes.
street. It's actually a good thing to have people that aren't living on the sidewalk. It's actually a good thing to have a, civilized discussion that doesn't resort to violence whenever you hear something that makes you angry. country. But for some people, this is the third worldist mindset. It is the aggrandizement of the base interests, the base desires, and the lowest common denominator of mankind.
Gotta pump up that is that, baby.
I don't like it. I don't want it here. And guess what? They don't either. If Twitch thinks Afghanistan has such great opinions that should be listened to, maybe they should apply Afghanistan's opinions to women on Twitch. How about that? But they won't, because they also agree with me too. I just was the one that said it. But everybody thinks this. And I have nothing, by the way. Oh, I said illiterate. They have 37% literacy. Flip a coin, I'm right.
Do they actually?
So the point is that really, they all do agree with me. Everybody agrees with me on this. And if you're a guy from Afghanistan, you're watching, I don't know, I'm sure we've got a number of them. We've got a lot of people.
I think everyone is very frustrated that you can say something that can be objectively true and still get attacked for it. And we've seen this over decades before, like, content creators as they are now are even a thing. And I so fucking wish that I had this clip, because, like, many years ago, I remember Justin Trudeau giving a speech on fucking something, and he said that just because a fact is true doesn't make it not racist. And I remember thinking, that's fucking crazy that you would say that you shouldn't say something that is objectively true in reality just because it could be construed as harmful. That's insane. And I wish I still had that clip. I wish I had saved it. I kick myself every time because it would be a great clip to fucking play.
People that watch the show, listen, man, I'm not talking about you, but you know that there's some idiots in your country that are morons of talking about them. And by the way, we have those same third worldists, we have those same fucking retards in America. Being a third worlder and being a third worldist, yes, it's a geography, but it's more importantly a mindset. And these people have that mindset, and I don't want to have it. I don't want to deal with it. I think it's destructive, it's reductive, and I want to have nothing to do with it. So that's really the way that I feel about this, right? You know, these people.
Hot take: Asmon doesn't want women to be second-class citizens. What a bigoted piece of shit. Funny how HP has been violating TOS for years now. Oh, Hassan Piker. I was like, Harry Potter. And it hasn't been banned for more than 24 hours. I guess as long as you're making the company money. I think it's less making the company money in current year and more being ideologically aligned. I long for the times where companies actually cared about money over ideology. And so if you were making them enough money, you were immune to cancel culture. Right? I think everything is a lot more ideologically driven, and I would love to see more companies care more about profit. You're a terrorist supporter, Harry Potter. Oh my god.
People talk about the Epstein files. They have their own Epstein files. It's called the marriage records. It's called Tuesday. They have child marriage. It's legal. I don't want to have that here. I don't want to have anything to do with that here. So all that being said, I don't want to go through and talk.
Wow, he's against child marriage? What a fucking racist, bro. What a fucking Islamophobe, dude. Can you imagine?
About that too much. What am I going to do? And just very clearly, by the way, I was very surprised by this. I was very surprised by this suspension.
I like how he leaned in and did the fucking thing. I do that. That's my bit.
I thought it was going to be for like 20 of the other things that I said, right? I mean, I thought it'd be for like, you know, I don't want to give them any ideas because I did submit an appeal. I submitted an appeal, and you know, I told them like, and the thing is that if they tell me you can't refer to third worlders in a derogatory context, I hate to say it, you know, I don't take off my shoes whenever I walk in my own house. Somebody.
Oh, you see, if we were to get married, he'd have to take off his shoes. I don't want shoes in the house because that means you gotta mop the floor more often. All right, I like walking around my home barefoot like a fucking autist. I can't have like dirt picking up on my feet. All right, because I'm gonna rub my feet on your face later, and you don't want them to be dirty. No shoes on the carpet. He needs shoes in his house, Kirsche. Well, I mean, maybe in his house, but like in a clean house. Inside slippers like a civilized person. I always forget to wear slippers, man. I've bought so many pairs of cute slippers, and I'll wear them for a few weeks, or like when I remember to have them because I'm cold, but I typically forget about them, and then they just like end up under my coffee table and stay there forever. If your carpet is ratty, it's better to just wear footwear.
Else asks me to walk in their house. They tell me to take off my shoes. I do it. I'm not in my own house. I will follow Twitch's terms of service begrudgingly, and you guys will know that I absolutely do not agree with it. And these are my viewpoints, but I will follow the rules. And I have always taken a good faith effort to always follow the terms of service. If there's a dick that we...
I've always tried to follow the TOS as well. Which is why I only have one ban on record, and it's after a very obvious brigading that happened to try and get me suspended for reading a certain someone's smutty fucking AO3, whatever the fuck it is. And it's just like, I've read that shit from so many people. I have done, like, entire streams on that kind of content from crazy individuals that we make fun of. And yet that's the one time I've got a fucking ban? Are you kidding me? You expect me to believe that that was completely fucking normal? Alright, okay. You must think I'm fucking retarded.
Show on stream? Well, it must be that day of the week. And on top of that, they've complained to me about that too, by the way. And if I do that, I delete the VOD and I try to move past it and I apologize. I say, oops, guys, that's my bad. I didn't mean to do that. I don't actually ever intend to break the terms of service. Why would I ever do that? Why would I ever put myself in a position where I intentionally do something that I think would put my channel at risk? It's just stupid. Why would I ever do that? So the problem that I have with this is that I think that I've made it, and considering the content of my, like my stream, I cover extremely edgy content. I talk about things like, I talk about the most politically charged.
I wouldn't even say like specifically edgy, but yeah, it's politically charged. It's like very polarizing. There we go, content. And so like it's gonna make some people upset, but being upset doesn't mean that it's against TOS. But they can use enough people to brigade the report button to get you banned by their fucking shitty ass AI systems, man.
Most extreme issues on a daily basis in plain English, just, as a matter of fact. And really, I think that in order to do that and not have a million bad clips that have, been released about me, there's only 500,000. There's the reality that I do try a very good amount to try to control what I say, make sure that what I say does not break the terms of service. And I try to say what I say with a degree of, I guess, I'm thinking about what I'm saying, right? I'm not just,
Yeah, and I think it's very obvious, like, when he or I do that, and we're like, how do we word this? Or, we think for a second or whatever. Or, like, we look at chat and we're like, well, I think it's kind of this way, but, like, what? Maybe I'm missing something. I feel like he and I have a very similar way of like processing our thoughts on stream, and some people get mad at that. Some people who hate us get mad at that because they're like, oh, they definitely think this thing, instead of understanding that we're going through a thought-forming process, trying to figure out what we think, what we believe in real time. We're just doing it with a camera, I guess. And then there's some people like who like us who are like, fuck, why don't you just get it? Why don't you just agree with me? What the fuck? And it's like, well, I don't know enough, man. Like, maybe you're right, but like I don't know. I don't know. I'm kitten. Yay. Like
going extemporaneously right off the cuff. I mean, to an extent I am, but I'm editing it in my mind to make sure that I don't say anything that would get me in trouble on Twitch. So when I said this, I didn't think I said anything wrong. And by reading the TOS, I don't think the TOS says that I said anything wrong.
I don't think so either.
And the reality is that if you applied the reason why I got suspended to anybody applying this same type of language against Westerners, against Americans, against anybody in a developed country, you know that not only would it not be banned, it would probably be celebrated. So,
it would be. And this is like the two-tier justice system that everybody keeps talking about. It's not just in like the regular courts in the US or the UK or wherever. It also plays out on the international stage on the internet. There is the two-tier justice system where certain people get accused of wrongthink and they're not allowed to have their opinions. And so many people are like in their best interest of like, just get rid of him, just get him taken down. Don't let him say things. And he brought this up when I was going through my cancel campaign as well. He's just like, they don't want Kirsche growing any bigger. They don't want her becoming a threat like I am. They know they can't do anything to me, so they go after people who are smaller like her to kneecap them before they can grow. That's exactly what the tactic is. How are we to have the running of the Kirsches if we don't release them? The fact that Kirsche has never accidentally said a slur on stream is the most disciplined and focused a Bostonian has ever been. It was really hard in the beginning, but also, unfortunately, not never. There was once. there was once I didn't save myself, like the Winger fact. There's gonna be some lawsuit for breach of contract when they do this garbage. I have no idea. I have no idea.
So I think this is a massive double standard. It's completely unfair. I was unfairly targeted. I'm not sorry for any of it. And I'll be waiting for Twitch's apology for unbanning me. And if it takes them a
Right, and like he said, if he accidentally does something that's over TOS, he deletes the VoD, because it's like he didn't do it on purpose. When I said the word, I didn't do that on purpose. I deleted the VoD. I was like, that was a fucking whoopsie. That was I didn't mean to do that. So let's delete the VoD. Let's make it kosher again, right?
Couple of days, that's fine. If it takes them an entire week, I guess I'll have to finish Crimson Desert. But the reality is that I did nothing wrong. I did nothing wrong. I regret nothing. And according to their own rules, I also did nothing wrong. Yep. So all this put into context, that's pretty much where things stand. That's where we're at. I'm not really stressed out about this. Honestly, I'm kind of excited. I feel like we've been in a little bit of a lull period, right? That's why I've been trying to do, like, oh, I'll do the ban appeals. I'll do, like, the Jesus game, right? And, you know, all that. And I'll be honest, what really spurred me to make a comment about it last night is that I saw on Reddit, people thought that I got banned for showing a horse's dick on stream. And I was like, this is the stupidest narrative. I have to correct this because it's so ridiculous. I don't want people to believe this. People are also saying...
Did he show a horse's cock? Because, I mean, that is TOS. He's not Vosh. If it was a horse cock, like, in Crimson Desert, I don't think anyone would care. But I know, like, if it was a real animal penis, Twitch has banned people for that before.
I got banned for playing the Jesus game. I don't know. Maybe that was the reason. Maybe there's an enlightened Reddit atheist in the moderation team.
That's true. How dare you show Jesus Christ on Twitch? Man, he looks high as fuck in this freeze frame. Oh my god, imagine getting high with Asmon. Holy shit.
That's the reason they gave me. They said hateful conduct for 1 week. I put in my appeal. Hopefully I'll get it approved. I did nothing wrong. I apologize for nothing. I said nothing wrong. The clip is shown. Millions of people, not millions, many people say a lot of things that are a lot worse than what I say, and nothing ever happens to them.
You could probably safely say millions there, honestly.
And I think it was totally unfair that something happened to me. All that being said, I recognize if that's what Twitch doesn't want me to say, I won't say it. Just please explain the vocabulary I'm not supposed to use, and I won't use that vocabulary.
Right?
I'll just think it. So anyway, thank you guys all very much for watching. I really appreciate everybody's support. I know a lot of you guys have been on Twitter and everything. You guys can share the video, let people know kind of like where I'm coming from, what's going on. But other than that, that's about all I've got, guys. So that's where things stand. That's where I'm at. I'm sorry that, you know, I got suspended. Now it's like, okay, this is complicated. It might ruin some people's schedule. They're like, oh, where's Bobby, right? And, you know, again.
Someone in chat earlier was just like, oh, I didn't know Kirsche was streaming because I only know she's streaming when I get the alert that Asmongold went live at 3. That's funny that some people use, like, his announcement to know that I'm streaming.
If something big happens, I will be back on, and I'll stream on Kick or Rumble. But if things are just kind of the usual hysteria, you know, news cycle, I think I'll probably just relax. But we'll see what happens. Hopefully Twitch will realize what they've done wrong, and they will undo their mistake. So anyway, guys, thank you all so much for watching. Thank you so much for supporting me for all these years and for everything. And I'll see you all very soon. I'll talk to you later, guys. Peace.
Unban my gamer Asmongold. Like, what the hell? A very, very unfair ban. He shouldn't have been banned. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous considering the other things that happen on this platform. I'm just tired. I'm tired of, I guess, just being people on, like, the right of center. I don't even know how right of center Asmon is. It feels like he's very, very firmly center. It's just tiring seeing people being treated so differently. Like, it's very grotesque, especially because most of us on this side were like, yeah, we wanted to just grill, bro, do whatever the fuck you want. You do what you want, I do what I want. We just kind of, if we don't like it, like, we just don't interact. No big deal, bro. But instead of that, it's just like, oh, I don't like you, and thus I must ruin your life unequivocally. I must take everything away from you and make sure you can't speak. It's crazy. It's fucking crazy.